Hi guys. This is absolutely surreal. I don't think there is a chance I would have imagined this is where we would be right now when my team started working on Breaking Code Silence 2 years ago. And to see this opportunity for us to come forward and be seen and make the children who are still in harm's way be seen is incredible. And I'm so thankful to all of you for being here. I'm thankful to Paris and her team for making this happen. There are so many of us here right now, and it's just such a small fraction of how many thousands of survivors are out there right now watching, thinking about this, and those who haven't yet even been able to confront the pain of their childhoods. And I know that we are all kinds. Some of you grew up rich, some of you grew up poor. I know there's got to be at least one person here who was sent as a foster child into one of these facilities. Some of us are gay, some are straight. We have Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, no party affiliations, and none of it matters here. There's nothing that can divide us here because we share a piece of each other's hearts. And we share a story that to outsiders seems like a bewildering nightmare. But we understand it, and we know. The last time I spoke to a crowd like this, I was 11 years old. I was participating in a public speaking competition, and I told the story of the 3 billy goats gruff. And I was only a child. I was just learning to find my voice. I was just learning what my strengths were. And at that same time, I was also beginning to struggle with a sadness that would own me in the years to come. I was holding on to secrets that I've learned so many children also carry. And I did not have the words to ask for help for what was happening to me as a child. And in that same time, I watched a family member whom I loved die. Even though I was a joker, and even though I was still smiling and still speaking, I didn't know how to cope with the sadness that was already there. And I'm sure many of you can relate to a similar story. My sadness was medicated from the time I was 9 years old, the same year I watched that family member die. When I struggled in school, I was put on amphetamines. When I couldn't sleep, I was put on sleeping pills. And when my emotions were rocked, I was put on lithium, which is a mood stabilizer. I was lost. I was confused, and I became a shell of the child that I had been before. I began to withdraw from my family, I withdrew from my community, and when I was only 13, I tried to take my own life. To make a long story short, like many of you, I was sent to a behavioral modification center as it was recommended to my parents. And like many of you, instead of help, I was programmed through fear. The abuse that I would suffer, the dragging, the drugging, the isolation, the psychological abuse, the physical neglect, and the abuse that I saw happen to the children around me burned itself into my memory. I knew then that it was wrong, but children are so adaptable, right? I don't think any child understands abuse as abuse in the moment that it's happening. We don't see that. We saw a painful situation that we had to survive, and that's what we did. I didn't have a voice then, but I did try to speak out about it about 2 years after I was out of the program in 2008. And even then, I wouldn't come to understand the depth of the cruelty and the abuse until I looked into the eyes of my own baby daughter. And when I looked at her, I realized that every child deserves to be loved like I love her. And every child deserves to be safe the way she is safe. And that I would stop at nothing until no one else can make a buck on the back of struggling kids. The more I've learned about this industry, the more it blows my mind. The billions of dollars, the thousands of survivors. I've learned that my story is not unique. not by a long shot. I've learned that there are thousands upon thousands of survivors, and that so few of us have been able to come forward and speak publicly about what happened. And I've learned that the reason for that is shame. But our secrets are shame that never belonged to us. We've been silent because we were made to feel ashamed. We were told in our programs that we were bad or broken or sinful. We were told that if we spoke out about what happened, that we would be liars. We were told that if we told anybody where we went when we went home, that we would be rejected. And because of the shame associated to our families for having failed to protect us or for having been unable to raise us themselves, we've then been made to be silent in our own homes. And they carry that shame too, and they carry that pain too. This shame has caused so much pain for so many people, survivors and non-survivors. And that shame has allowed this industry to continue to today. And the silence stops with us.
Yeah.
In helping to bring the Breaking Code Silence movement to where it is now, I've had the incredible honor of helping to share so many of your stories. I have listened to your voices over and over again. I have read your words about your memories and your nightmares, and my heart has broken over and over again to know what happened to all of you, and that we are not alone. And that we are showing by our sheer numbers now that the abuse is real. The industry is what is broken.
That's right.
And it stops with us.